What do you see when you look at me? You may see a woman with almond-shaped eyes. You might even think I love Chinese food. Or maybe that you're excited that I speak really good English without even a hint of an accent. When you peel back the layers and truly get to know my story, I'm a girl from Minnesota, the daughter of Vietnamese refugees, the first child in my family born in the US. On April 29th, 1975, my parents escaped Vietnam. My dad was a Vietnamese soldier fighting alongside the US, and as a result, would be considered a traitor to his country. If captured, he would be forced into concentration camps or face death, so escape was his only option. He piled my mom, aunt, and 2 siblings onto a motorcycle. They secretly followed behind a high-ranking officer, literally dodging bullets and bombs, convinced they would die in this very moment. Somehow, miraculously, they made it to a set of gates guarded by soldiers with automatic weapons. But the problem was they didn't have the authorized documents to get through, and they would be forced to turn around and face the consequences. As the guards approached them, suddenly and seemingly out of nowhere, there was this huge explosion and pandemonium broke out. It was then that those gates were left unguarded. My parents snuck through and boarded one of the last helicopters leaving Vietnam. And as it rose higher up in the air, they said goodbye to a country they knew would never be home to them again. 43 years ago, my parents arrived to the US, and today they're living the American dream. These refugees who didn't even have a grain of rice in their pocket have created generational changes for thousands of people in their community and will continue to make ripples after they leave this earth. What does the American dream mean or look like to you? We've been led to believe that everyone who comes to and lives in the US has an equal chance of living the American dream, but that's not true. Immigrants and refugees start over in the wake of unimaginable violence and suffering, and despite not having been born here, they know that hard work, determination, and perseverance are the only ways to success. These are the same values that define and embody the American dream, but unfortunately are not enough to achieve the pursuit of happiness for the many who live here. Dad's full-time job was helping refugees resettle in the US. Mom, she worked night shift at an assembly company. They were rarely home, and on top of that, they had 2 restaurants. So to ensure that my siblings and I didn't ruin our futures staying up late watching Knight Rider and Dukes of Hazzard, they locked the TV power cord in the cabinet. Who does that? And, while the 6 of us were strategizing on how to get that power cord out, they were working multiple jobs, sometimes sleeping in supply room closets. Dad was always gone after work in his little blue Volkswagen Beetle, going from house to house helping refugee and immigrants within our community. Our house was this revolving door for new arrivals, and he even took in a homeless man, gave him room and board, and tried to connect him with his family. My father paved the way for those seeking the American dream, and he built a community along the way. Outsiders were always welcome because it didn't matter where you were born, what language you spoke, the clothes you wore, whether you ate with a fork, chopsticks, or your hands. What matters are the connections we make, the conversations we start, and treating people with profound kindness. This is the foundation of cultivating a community, and the American dream often forgets this. My parents learned the importance of community through our sponsors, the Jankowskis, who were immigrants themselves. Sponsors are people who open up their homes to refugees and help them navigate everyday life in America. But the Jankowskis were not your average sponsors. They gave up their master bedroom and slept on the living room floor so that my parents could have a bed. Mr. Jankowski co-signed a car loan for Dad, his first vehicle, a brick red 4-door Buick sedan for $1,200. And while refugees come in need of protection and not on the contribution they would make to this country, it's been shown time and time again that they have overwhelmingly made positive changes, both economically and culturally. The American Community Survey did a 5-year study, and it showed that out of over 2 million refugees, they earned $77 billion in household income, contributed $21 billion in taxes, and $56 billion in spending power to use at US businesses. Look around. You know some of them. They're your dentist, the people that own your favorite restaurant, your child's best friend. You're probably sitting next to someone right now. These people we consider outsiders come up against common hurdles like not speaking fluent English and feeling like they're caught between alphabets. Then add on to their struggles the imposed stereotypes many of us still have of different ethnicities, myself included, and it really keeps them from moving forward with their life. We forget someone paved the way for us decades ago in order for us to be sitting here today. You and I were born from the blood of immigrants and refugees. Not having been born here should never deny anyone of living the American dream. Yet oftentimes, immigrants and refugees rarely get to live what they could have died fighting for. The lack of support, ignorance, stigmas, and stereotypes all create a barrier, a wall, that destroys their dreams before they even get a chance to live it out loud. The American Dream Redefined creates a new narrative, which is helping refugees and immigrants participate, not just assimilate. Participation means acceptance, getting curious and asking questions, having conversations, and inviting them into your community. Because without that, they feel invisible, out of place, and it pushes them towards self-segregation. Shift your perspective to see them as your peers, not as people you watch on the 9 o'clock news. They used to be doctors, engineers, insanely successful entrepreneurs who are now sweeping floors. A community of belonging looks past these linguistic and cultural barriers and sees them as opportunities to invest in their valuable skills so that they can contribute to the community and grow as leaders in this country. The days of letting them figure it out all by themselves no longer works. You are the bridge to connect them to the community and to their dreams. Do not be the wall that separates them from it. In this world of closing borders, the focus is to keep outsiders out. Let's not restrict belonging to those who are already inside. Chúng ta hãy vận dụng lòng thông cảm đối với những người tị nạn và di dân để có thể nhìn thấy họ nơi bản thân mình và nhận ra bản thân mình nơi họ. When I look at myself in the mirror, I see the story of who I am built upon the very foundation my parents have worked so hard to create for us. I see myself creating my own ripple effect that grows and expands into the very core of the American dream. The American dream wants us all to be free. She doesn't discriminate by the color of your skin, the language you speak, or where you were born, and neither should we.